Welcome back, guys. So today we're taking a look at this Batocera Odroid Xu4 image. So this is from an anonymous viewer, member, whatever you want to call him. Awesome dude, really awesome dude. But he sent me this image to peep it out for the Odroid and to share it as well. So I'm working on getting this up on Arcade Punks, but I will be dropping a link down below if you want to peep this out. So what this is a Batocera 16 gigabyte Odroid Xu4 build. I've just barely started getting into this world of the Odroid, so I'm not 100% familiar with everything. I'm not 100% familiar with Batocera Linux and Recall Box on all this stuff. So a little new to me. I'm still learning some of this stuff, but so far from what I have peeped out on this little image, I'm pretty impressed. So what he has here, a handful of Dreamcast games. Dreamcast seems to be kind of weird, little hit and miss. Every game I've tried has worked just fine, other than Dead or Alive 2 might need something to be tweaked there, but everything else, Ill Bleed, Marvel, Soul Calibur, all of Crazy Taxi, they have all worked great, but I still have seen like some little minor glitches, like in the pause screen, weird stuff like that. But it might detract from the experience on Dreamcast, but maybe there's something that could be done. I don't know, but the performance has been better than on a Raspberry Pi 3 anyway. Playing through Crazy Taxi, the only glitch that I would see is in the pause menu. That was it. You paused it and it just kind of looked a little weird, but you could still select your options. The game played flawlessly. The music plays great. It's really cool. So what we're going to do is check out some other stuff. So he does have a good selection of MAME games on here, and we might peep that out. I've played a bunch of them. They all work just fine. It's pretty awesome. Nintendo 64, now that is really where it's going to be at, I think. So it looks like he has the full library on here, and I've gone through and tested a bunch of them. A handful didn't work or wouldn't boot up, but you do have some options, so you could definitely go through, say for example 1080 snowboarding. It's not one of them I tested, but if you try to open it up, let's go ahead and see if it boots up, if it plays anyway. If it doesn't boot up and you just exit out, there's some things you can do. Like, it doesn't look like this is going to boot up for me. Oh, it actually did. I thought it was lagged out. I was wrong. Just got to be a little patient, right? Seriously. So let's see how this performs. And I'm expecting every game on Nintendo 64 that I have booted up and has worked has played freaking amazingly well. So let's see. Let's just peep this out real quick. Like, it's really cool. Let's go ahead and just pick her real quick. Just a random board. We'll just jump over there. Let's see how this plays. But it's only been a couple that I've jumped into and the game didn't boot up, or maybe I was just like impatient. I don't know. But yeah, I'm seeing no glitching. The draw distance isn't great, but that's kind of how the Nintendo 64 was. But you do have, everything in high definition and just really looking nice. So this has so far been my experience with Nintendo 64, minus a handful, like I said, games. Oh, it was only like 2 that I tried that didn't boot up. But maybe I was just impatient, like you saw here. So there we go. Let's get out of that. But yeah, I was going through playing a bunch of these games, peeping them out. Games that like I couldn't play on the Raspberry Pi, like they were just too glitchy. But let's just say, for example, like 1080 didn't work for you. You just press select, go to edit this game's metadata, and then you can change the emulator here. So you can go through and have different options for the emulator and the core, all that good stuff. So if you had an issue, you could test that out, find a core, an emulator and a core that worked for you, and then just save it for that game, and then you're good to go. I haven't had too many issues, like I said. Waverace, let's jump into that. Waverace is beautiful on here. This is really where it's at. So, like I said, this image is if you want to mess with it and you have an Odroid, sweet. I think I may be taking some time to expand upon this image and test some things, because I think it was really it's a really solid base here. You know, so for being a Batocera image, 16 gigabytes. You guys can play with it, expand on it, whatever you want to do. I'm probably going to work on it myself, add some artwork, you know, test all the games, make sure the emulator settings are good. It might take me a little while, and I'll probably expand upon it. It'll be, you know, past 16 gigabytes, because this is pretty much maxed, I would say, if you're using a 16 gigabyte card. So I would expand it quite a bit bigger than that to add the artwork and maybe add some games and whatnot. But as you see, Waverace, I could never get Waverace to run 100% on the Raspberry Pi 3. And on the Odroid here, man, this is flipping beautiful. I mean, I cannot complain. I've already played this a little bit. I've played through a few races, and I'm just like, dude, this works awesome. This is great. So let me get out of here, find something else that typically is laggy or weird, like Goldeneye, for example. Goldeneye, you can mess with it quite a bit, you know, on the Raspberry Pi through RetroPie, to get it, you know, functional. But I've never really, you know, I don't mess with Nintendo 64 too much. I just gave up on it on the Pi. I don't really care. I have a Nintendo 64 with, you know, close to 100 games, so, you know, if I want to play Nintendo 64, I'll play them on the Nintendo 64 for the most part. But it's still cool to peep out games that, you know, don't have or never played, or want to decide if I want to buy them. So it'd be nice to just jump on one of these little single board computers and peep some games out. But Goldeneye, I could never get it to where it worked for me, where it was flawless. But playing it on this, I think it's working for me. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. And just the controls are kind of weird. I am using the Xbox controller, and I'm stepping on the cord. But using the Xbox controller, everything has, you know, just kind of, you know, this was back in the day, first-person shooters. The controls weren't all that great, so you kind of you have to get reaccustomed to it if you're, you know, down into first-person shooters nowadays. So playing this, not too hard, but a little weird. Oh, there we go. So it doesn't, you know, it doesn't seem laggy or anything to me. The textures seem all right. I think I've only seen a couple spots where, you know, there was some weird little flicker or whatnot. You know, like the little stripe down here, but that's pretty typical for this game being emulated, at least from what I have seen. But yeah, this is running great in my opinion. Heck of a lot nicer than I've seen on the Raspberry Pi. So I'm very impressed with this. There's a lot of projects going on out there concerning the Odroid. You know, one of the biggest ones is gonna be RetroPie on the Odroid, since there is support for that. So there's a group that is currently working on a base image, you know, and I am part of that, you know, testing that image. I have not had a chance to put it on a card yet. I just barely got it, you know, loaded up. So there's that, you know, as far as the Odroid goes, there is going to be some pretty awesome support out there. There's going to be RetroPie on there, a nice base image that's being currently worked on. And, you know, that will be shared with you guys at some point when it's ready to be publicly shared. But so far, from what I've seen and heard, it is looking pretty sweet. They just want to, you know, work out the bugs and whatnot. But definitely you'll be seeing stuff like that for me in the future, working on that, working on Batocera here, seeing what I can do with this this base image anyway. But for the time being, like I said, you guys can play with this, peep it out if you like. Download Dropbox link will be down below, so you can peep her out and do with it as you please. Like I said, I did not create this image. I did not put this together. It is from somebody who wants to remain anonymous, which is fine. But just keep in mind that not everything is tested on here. Not everything is 100% set to what we know will work. It still requires some work. So if you want to download this, cool. But if you do, please, don't raise hell like, hey, this doesn't work. Just, I'm learning about it too. So I'm going to be going through this and working off of this image and doing something pretty awesome with it in the near future. So definitely stay tuned for that. Really exciting stuff. I'm glad I got this Odroid. Going to be doing some more videos on it. So smash that like button. Subscribe if you have not done so already. And with that said, guys, I wills catch y'all next time. Boom. Peace out, guys. Happy New Year's. What?